Hey, welcome to Montreal and the iRacing Skip Barber. This is going to be a reference lap for 1:56.8. It's just a little bit off a fast time, but I think it's worth going over all the markers and how I generally drive this for future reference. The obvious thing about this track is it's essentially 3 chicanes connected by a hairpin. That's the best way to think about it. The tricky thing about the chicanes is I always feel if you're not terrified at corner exit at the chicanes, then you're not doing it right. You will find yourself very close to the walls on every one of the 3 chicanes. Pretty much every corner exit you're running right up against the wall. That means that if you make a slight mistake, you're going to make contact with the wall with the right front, which means you're going to have to go into the pits. Your car's just going to be, it just won't drive straight. The hairpin is a really tough one. I still haven't quite figured it out. It's without a shadow of a doubt my weakest section of the track, and also the most important corner of them all because it leads onto the back straight. That said, it's a fun track. It's an interesting track. It gives you some real tests. You can't afford to lose your concentration. The longer the race, obviously, the greater the test of your concentration. But the big part of your success here, more than anything anywhere else, is going to be identifying your markers and sticking to them. And that's what this video is all about as we cross the start finish line. Okay, as we cross the start finish line at the coming out to the first corner, we're looking for as a brake marker at the 2 marker. You can't quite see it yet. We'll just roll it in a little bit shortly and you'll see it. At the 2 marker, I'm really looking at the grass because there's a gap in the grass, and I'm looking at those markers. I'm not looking at the number 2 because the number 2 is too far over to the right. I don't like looking that far. I'll look to get a marker ideally that's closer to the track. So I'm braking hard at the 2, down to second gear, and then getting it, kind of cutting that corner, cutting the inside corner, but trying to stay as far left as possible and exit as possible. As you can see here, there's the 2 marker on the right. You got the 3, then the 2, then the 1. If you look at the 2, there's that is a break in the grass, that paved area. I'm looking to brake just as the nose of the car kind of gets to where the grass resumes. Again, really step on the brake hard, get it down to second gear. Now here's the tricky bit, because you've got to get it slowed down enough to be able to get it to turn in and cut across this corner. So if we just pull it back a little bit, I'm just starting to turn in here. And it might look a little bit early, but you're trying to cut across that curb and get it across to the left. You'll be down in the second gear, cut across the curb, get it, and by the time you turn it, obviously be in second gear. Again, the tricky part of that is you are turning in really hard, so you've got to get it slowed down enough that it will allow you to turn in without spinning. Common mistake there is to just go a little bit too quick and spin it. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get across to the left. You don't want to be over onto the right. That will really hurt you coming around this curve. I struggle here. This is, along with the hairpin, this is my worst corner. What I'm trying to do is I get it out of first gear, and I'm trying to get, it's pretty much a late apex I think on this one. Getting it really slowed down and trying to get flat on the gas when by the time you reach the point where the white line of the pit lane exit ends. Okay, as we come up here, we've used the curbing on exit there. coming down here, I think it's down in, we'll be up in the 4th gear. A conservative braking point will be where this the blue sign on the right starts. I tend to brake about midway. You want to get again, you're going down to 2nd gear, trying to take a lot of the curb on the right. There's the outer side curb, and then there's a red central part. I think on pretty much all of the corners you're trying to get across that red central part. For the left turn, take a huge amount of the grass on the inside. You can really cut that corner, and be aware of the wall on exit. Okay, as you saw, I took a lot of the inside there. Now on this one, you want to take a lot of that curbing, that kind of apex curbing on the left. You've got to be a bit brave here with the right turn. You've really got to turn in as early as you dare and put in a lot of steering on the right to stop it from drifting out wide left. Okay, now as you see that shadow, that big thick blocky shadow in the middle there, there's 2 shadows. The one you're in now, then is a thick blocky shadow, then is a thinner shadow. You want to start braking just as you get into that second bit of shadow. Down into 2nd gear, I should be pushing more to the right. I'm too far to the left. Again, you have to brake really hard, get it on a 2nd gear, slow enough so you can rotate it around the curb. Make sure you're as left as you can be, and then I think it's pretty much flat on the gas for the right turn. Taking a lot of the curb on exit. Okay, just went up to 5th gear there. You can possibly hang on with 4, but I always go up to 5th. I think it's fairly standard. I'm braking just as if you look to the right of the 2 marker, the grass ends, and then you have that little paved area. That's that little bit of paved area is your marker to brake. Take it down a 2nd gear, and then when the paved area ends, that's your marker to turn in. You've got to take a lot of the inside of this first apex without hitting the bumps. There's bumps on both apexes here. You've got to avoid those because it'll unsettle the car. But you want to get as tight as you can. I think I actually take a bit of the right one on entrance here. But you want to be in a position where you can get on the gas hard as early as you possibly can. Okay, here I'm braking about midway between the 2 and the 1. You've got to brake really hard here. Get it all the way down to 1st gear. Now, if you look at where the 10 marker is in the fence, if you look directly across from that, there's a little bit of pavement. You see the white line coming up. There's a little bit of pavement to the left of it that stops at the grass. It's just a little sliver of pavement right next to the white line. The start of that bit of pavement, that's when I'm using it. That's what I'm using as my reference point for the turn-in. If you turn in too early, you're gonna cut across the apex. Turn in about that point, and you can get it onto a late apex. The idea is that you get hard on the gas at the apex. I'm not still able to do that, so I'm losing a lot of time through here. I'm just going to pull back a little bit. Now I think some people will probably be braking at the 3. I think that's where I started. I want to go a little bit further than that. There's a little bit of a cloud on the track. You can see it coming up here. I'm kind of braking just before I reach that. Then I'll go all the way down to 2nd gear, and I'm looking for the entrance curving. It's pretty much just looking for that and getting a side picture. And then getting on the gas as quickly as you can as you turn in. And that is a lap at Montreal. A lot still to be fixed there, but it's it's a reasonable benchmark, reasonable start. Hope that's useful.